So I'm gonna run you through the book of Ruth in uh, one video this morning. Hopefully, I don't make it too confusing. The main idea that comes out of the book of Ruth for us Christians is the idea of redemption. Naomi and Ruth, and we'll talk about them a little bit more, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, come back to Israel after a famine and basically have nothing except the land that Naomi's husband owned in Israel at that point. They had no way to work the land, make it supply for them at all, period. They were totally dependent on a close relative buying the land and supporting them uh, on the land. And this is where we find ourselves. Boaz wants to be the redeemer, and so he sets about to make it happen at the end of the book of Ruth. So we're in Ruth chapter 4, starting with verse 8. So the guardian redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself." And he removed his sandal. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or his hometown. Today you are witnesses." Then the elders and all the people at the gate said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the family of Israel. May you have standing in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. Through the offspring the Lord gives you by this woman, may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." So the people of the town, the elders, are recognizing what Boaz is doing, and in this they give a wedding blessing, really, these last couple of verses. And this particular reference here, "may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." Tamar was not from Israel's line at all, so she would be an outsider, let's just say it that way. Um, Married the eldest son of Judah. Long story short, she ended up tricking Judah into impregnating her so that she could have children. And Perez is one of those two sons that she had. I believe she had twins. And so in this wedding blessing that the town is giving to Boaz, they're recognizing the situation. Hey, this Moabite girl is coming into your family like Tamar did, but may she be fruitful even as Tamar was. So let's talk about where Ruth's coming from a little bit more here. We're jumping back to the beginning. Now Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. So in the very beginning, they had left Israel for Moab, and Elimelech died there. And she was left with her two sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. And this is a problem. Give you a little Moabite background. When Israel was coming up out of Egypt, coming into the promised land, they met up with the Moabites. The Moabites hired a guy named Balaam to come and curse Israel, and God wouldn't allow him to do that. So then Balaam and the Moabites came up with a plan to separate Israel from their God. They sent their women into the camp to entice the men of Israel to forsake the Lord and go to their gods. This resulted in judgment on Israel by God, because those women were somewhat successful, and then judgment on Moab by Israel and God. So marrying Moabite women, historically that's a bad idea in this time frame. But we see this happening here anyway. But what we're about to see is Ruth, well, she went the other direction. She didn't lead astray. She went instead to the God, the one true God, the Lord. Look, said Naomi, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. So by this time, going back to Israel, it's just the three ladies. All the men have died. There's some Jewish teaching that said the two sons died because they married Moabite women. I don't know about that. Maybe they said it was the Lord's judgment. Anyway, it's just the three women going back. And actually now it's just the two women. Orpah's like, yeah, I need to go back to my family. It's not going to work. And Naomi's like, I got nothing for you gals. I have nothing. When we go back, I don't even know how I'm going to survive. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. I am converting to follow your God. I want to serve the Lord. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. I feel like these used to be used in wedding vows, like in the 1970s, this passage did, and then I guess they realized it was mother-in-law and daughter-in-law talking to each other, so that kind of faded off the scene. But Naomi's and her sons, their life had so affected Ruth that she was ready, willing, and did convert to following the Lord as her God, which made redemption possible by Boaz. So what was the result of that union, that marriage? Solomon, the father of our buddy Boaz, Boaz, the father of Obed, Obed, the father of Jesse, and Jesse, the father of David, yes, the David, King David. So Boaz was the great grandpa of King David, which would make Ruth the great grandma of King David. And going even further, follow it down to the book of Matthew, this puts Ruth the Moabitess in the lineage of Jesus the Christ, our Savior. In the middle of this mess of Judges where everyone's doing what's right in their own eyes, God raises up the idea of redemption and advances the lineage of the Messiah through this Moabite woman. Pretty neat stuff. May the Lord add his blessing to this reading of his word.